You all, there's nothing worse than deadline sewing, and that's exactly where I am right now. So I have to head over to Ohio, and I told my mother's friend that I would make her this pattern right here, which is Vogue 1814, as a gift. And well, I haven't even really started on it, which is the biggest problem. So yeah, that pattern and all of my fabric has to come with me to Ohio along with my sewing machines. So that way I can finish this up while I'm there. So let me go ahead and grab my VeloStar sewing kit, which helps make this entire packing process a little more streamlined for me. So let me show you the sewing kits that I was sent by VeloStar, who is the sponsor of today's video. VeloStar sent me these 3 sewing kits. I know I'm going to use the biggest one, but let me show you what they all have inside. This kit has a lot of really good stuff in it. Safety pins, needles, a seam ripper, which is always handy, scissors, buttons. Yeah, I mean, you all, lots of buttons. The measuring tape, thimble, in case you're one of those people who need one, threaders for your needles, and plenty of thread. I like to keep this one in my work bag, so that's where it's going to go. This is the medium-sized one, which is actually pretty good. It has a whole lot of the same stuff that the other one did, but it has these handy wonder clips here that I like to use. And in this little container, let me open it up for you. There is large-eyed needles, which is, who doesn't need a large-eyed needle? And it has plenty of them. So that's a really good addition. This one has needles, of course. It has snaps with those buttons. Threaders, again. This darn thing keeps opening. Hang on. Okay. And nail clippers. There's tweezers right here. A marking pencil, measuring tape, seam ripper, all the stuff you really need. And then looking over here on the right, you are. Look at all of the thread colors. Aren't they so beautiful? Now let's take a look at the large one, which is actually the one I've been using. So this is my favorite one in the large size. And whew, it's always so impressive when you open it up. And hang on, I did a sloppy job putting my stuff away, but there's my tweezers, 3 bobbins. I'm missing one because one's actually in my machine right now. And then 2 different types of thimbles here. My mom's claimed that gold one, so she'll be getting that one. Large-eyed plastic needles. And then the other nice thing is that they come with a nice pair of scissors. More needle threaders. There's 2. There's that one, and then there's this one with a magnifying glass. Needles. These plastic safety pins that I think they're for knitters, crocheters. I mean, that's what I'm guessing because it comes with this knitting needle. And then, yeah, the pins and a pin cushion. You all, this kit has it all. And you can actually see I have an empty space here. I used that thread. Now I get to put my thread in there. All of the links to this is in the description box down below. You all, I need to get on the road. So we just made it to Ohio, and I'm at my mom's house.
Hi, I'm her mom.
Now it's time to get busy and sew. I will be cutting a size 12 at the waist and grading down to a 10 at the hips. And I'm using this beautiful striped suiting right here. It's got a gorgeous pink pinstripe in it. And here's my makeshift ironing board because my mom doesn't have an iron or an ironing board. So I have a towel and we had to borrow the neighbor's iron. Who doesn't have an iron?
Me, I don't.
Okay, so now it's time to get to sewing, but that means I have to actually thread my machines. So I'm going to use the magnifying glass that came in my VeloStar kit, as well as this little yellow one because it's a little finer of a wire than this blue one. So I'm going to use this yellow one. And then I also need my black thread. And for my serger over there, I'm going to use these tweezers that also came in my kit. Okay, I ran out of time. It's getting dark, I'm getting tired, and I don't want to make any mistakes on this. So let's pack up the sewing kit and head back over to Maryland. Now, the rest of the story. I told you all that I ran out of time in Ohio and had to bring my sewing project back with me. The full story is that when I was cutting out my pieces, I didn't pay attention to what was cut and what wasn't, and I accidentally balled up one of the tissue pieces for the back of the skirt, the top back, and my mother threw it away, and the garbage men came. And by the time I realized it, it was too late. And it was getting late enough to where I didn't want to attempt drafting a new pattern piece late at night. I had to do it here in Maryland. Thank goodness it was one of the easy pieces. So I'm just going to knock this skirt out, ship it to Ohio, and then I'll have to show you some pictures of it completed and on my model. I think my mom's friend is absolutely going to love this skirt. You all, if you love a good thigh-bearing moment, like my mom's friend over here, you have got to get this pattern. It was honestly a really easy sew. I referenced the directions. I didn't follow them completely. This part right here, that diagonal piece, they do have you flip up that hem with a facing. I didn't use the facing. I just serged all the way around, and then I flipped that up the seam allowance and stitched it down. And actually, let me show you how that looks. So you can see here, the stitching. Here's the underside. You see that? And I think it works fine. Yes, the facing would give a much cleaner look, but you all, for a really clean look like that, I think it really does necessitate that you do a good amount of hand stitching to get that to look nearly invisible here up at the top where that facing is. And I wasn't for it. I don't have the time for that. And I actually don't mind the way that the stitching does look at the bottom there. All in all, I highly recommend this pattern. And to tell you the truth, I felt like traveling to Ohio and back and then working in the dining room because my mother's in my sewing room / guest room. All of that was made so much easier with the sewing kit. So I highly recommend that if you are traveling and need a sewing kit, definitely check the links for a VeloStar sewing kit. Well, if you had fun hanging out with me today, definitely check out this video, which is where I did my sewing room makeover on a budget of $200. And you all, I really do like the end results. So check out that video and I'll meet you there.